People today are the most connected in history, and yet, somehow, we're getting dumber. We can search the entire internet in seconds, but most of us can't focus on one thing for more than a few minutes. We can talk to people across the world instantly, but we struggle to have deep conversations with the people in front of us. Something is very wrong. Every morning, millions of us do the exact same thing. We open our eyes and grab our phones before we even get out of bed. We scroll, we swipe, we tap. News headlines, short videos, trending posts. We feel like we're learning, like we're keeping up with the world. But here's the truth. By lunchtime, most of what we saw is gone from our minds, replaced by something new, and then something else. It's like eating fast food for the brain, quick, tasty, but leaves you weak. Carl Jung, one of the greatest psychologists of all time, warned about this in a way that feels frighteningly true today. He said that if we avoid facing our own shadow, the uncomfortable truths about ourselves, we stay shallow and easy to control. And that's exactly what's happening. We're so busy chasing little bursts of pleasure, likes, notifications, endless scrolling, that we've forgotten how to sit in silence, think deeply, or face the parts of ourselves we don't like. The scariest part? We don't even notice it's happening. We think we're free because we can choose what to watch, what to click, what to buy. But our choices are already being shaped by algorithms, trends, and the constant pull of instant pleasure. We've built a world that keeps us entertained every second, and it might be turning us into prisoners who don't even see the bars. If we keep living like this, the cost will be much bigger than just being distracted. We will lose the very skills that make us human, the ability to think for ourselves, to feel deeply, and to see the truth, even when it's uncomfortable. When we train our brains to only want what is quick, easy, and fun, we slowly kill our patience. We stop reading things that take time to understand. We stop having hard conversations. We stop sitting with our own thoughts. And that means we stop growing. A society that can't think deeply is a society that can be easily fooled. Carl Jung believed that without self-awareness, people live like puppets, moved around by outside forces they don't even see. That's exactly what's at stake here. If we keep avoiding discomfort, boredom, and hard truths, we will hand over our freedom without anyone needing to take it from us. The danger isn't that someone will come and lock us in chains. The danger is that we will be so entertained, so comfortable, that we will never notice our minds have been chained already. And when a whole society stops thinking, history shows that it never ends well. There's an old warning hidden inside a book written almost 100 years ago, Brave New World by Aldous Huxley. In it, the world isn't ruled by fear or violence. There are no prison camps or secret police like in George Orwell's 1984. Instead, people are controlled by pleasure. They're kept happy, entertained, and distracted all the time. And because they're always comfortable, they never think about changing anything. In Huxley's world, babies aren't even born naturally. They're designed in factories, placed into social classes, and taught from birth to love their place in life. They grow up with endless entertainment, free sex without emotional connection, and a magic drug called soma that takes away any sadness. No one feels pain, no one feels lonely, and no one stops to question the system. Why would they? Everything feels good. It sounds extreme, but if you look around today, it's not so far away. We may not have soma, but we have endless dopamine hits, TikTok videos, online shopping, dating apps, streaming platforms. Whenever we feel even a tiny bit bored or uncomfortable, we reach for a screen, and within seconds, the feeling is gone. Carl Jung warned that when people avoid their shadow, the darker, uncomfortable parts of themselves, they become shallow and predictable. That's exactly the kind of person a pleasure-based system needs. Someone who never digs deep, never questions, never resists. In Brave New World, this wasn't a mistake. It was the design. Keep people entertained, and they'll never ask for freedom. And here's the uncomfortable truth. You don't need violence to make a society stupid. You just need to flood it with so much comfort, distraction, and instant reward that no one remembers how to think deeply anymore. That's the blueprint, and we're already building it. Consumerism and instant gratification. We live in a culture where waiting feels like something from the past. One click, and food is at your door. A tap on your screen, and you're watching a movie instantly. A few seconds on a shopping app, and the package is already on the way. This speed feels like magic, but it's training our brains to expect everything in life to be instant. And when something takes time, learning a skill, reading a book, building a real relationship, we get restless and give up. That's how deep thinking thinking dies. We stop valuing slow, hard work because our brains are addicted to fast rewards. Social media and dopamine loops. Social media is a perfect trap. Every like, comment, or notification gives us a small shot of dopamine, the brain's feel-good chemical. Just like a slot machine in a casino, we keep checking our phones because we never know when the next reward will come. The problem is, this makes us crave constant stimulation. Carl Jung would say, we've replaced our inner life with a performance for others. We post for approval, we scroll for distraction, and we slowly forget how to enjoy being alone with our own thoughts. Commodified intimacy and relationships. Even our love lives have turned into fast consumption. Dating apps make it easy to treat people like products. Swipe left, swipe right, on to the next. Instead of deep emotional connection, we're served endless options, which often means we don't commit to any. Just like in Brave New World, intimacy becomes shallow and relationships are temporary. It's not that people don't want love, it's that we're training ourselves to value variety and speed over depth and patience. Hyper-entertainment and attention erosion. We are surrounded by entertainment all the time. Endless shows, games, videos, podcasts, music. Our free time is never really free. It's packed with noise and distraction. In Huxley's world, constant entertainment was a tool of control. In our world, it's not forced. We choose it ourselves, but the effect is the same. The more time we spend consuming, the less time we spend thinking. Our attention spans shrink, and complex ideas start to feel too hard to engage with. And once we lose the habit of deep focus, getting it back is almost impossible. When a whole society stops thinking deeply, the damage goes far beyond short attention spans. We lose the very qualities that make us fully human. The first thing we lose is empathy. Real empathy comes from understanding struggle, our own and other people's. But when we're always chasing comfort and avoiding pain, we forget how to connect with people who are suffering. We scroll past real problems because they don't feel pleasant. Without empathy, we stop caring about each other, and society becomes colder. The second loss is creativity. Some of the greatest art, music, and inventions in history came from moments of boredom, frustration, or even pain, when everything is easy and instantly entertaining. We never sit in those uncomfortable spaces where creativity is born. We stop creating and start only consuming. The third is truth. When people avoid complexity, they start accepting the simplest, most comfortable explanations for everything. This makes it easy for false information to spread. As Carl Jung warned, people who don't know themselves are easy to manipulate because they'll believe whatever makes them feel safe. And finally, we lose freedom. Not the kind of freedom politicians talk about, but the inner freedom to think for ourselves. A society that only chases pleasure will trade away that freedom without realizing it. We won't need someone to force us into submission. We'll hand it over willingly as long as we stay comfortable and entertained. This is the true cost of collective stupidity. It's not just that we know less, it's that we stop caring about knowing more. The good news is we don't have to stay trapped in this cycle. We can train our minds to think deeply again, but it means doing things that feel strange at first because they go against the way the world is built right now. One way is through art, not just scrolling past pretty pictures, but really spending time with music, paintings, books, or films that make you feel something. Real art doesn't always make you comfortable, and that's the point. It can challenge you, surprise you, and make you think in ways you hadn't before. Another way is philosophy, not as a boring school subject, but as the habit of asking why before you accept something as true. Read slowly, question ideas, even question yourself. Carl Jung believed that self-awareness is the foundation of freedom, and you can't become self-aware if you never stop to think. Then there's spirituality, and this doesn't have to mean religion. It can simply mean making time for silence, reflection, and connecting to something bigger than your daily routine. This is how you get back in touch with the deeper parts of yourself that constant noise has been covering up. We also need to protect boredom. It sounds strange, but boredom is powerful. When you resist the urge to grab your phone at the first sign of it, your mind starts to wander, imagine, and create. That's how new ideas are born. And finally, commit to long-form learning. Read books, listen to full lectures, have conversations that last more than 5 minutes. This builds patience and focus, skills that modern life is quietly destroying. Breaking free isn't about rejecting pleasure completely. It's about taking back control so pleasure doesn't control you. The truth is, Because the danger we face isn't being forced into stupidity. It's choosing it without even knowing we're choosing it. We think we're free because we can watch whatever we want, buy whatever we want, and click on anything that catches our eye. But if we only ever choose what's quick, easy, and comfortable, those choices aren't really ours. They're shaped for us. Aldous Huxley warned about a future where people would love their own servitude because it felt good. Carl Jung warned about people who avoid self-awareness, becoming puppets for forces they can't see. Those warnings aren't about some far-off dystopia. They're about right now. We've built a world that keeps us entertained every second. But if we trade away silence, boredom, and deep thought for constant stimulation, we lose the ability to think for ourselves. And once that's gone, it's almost impossible to get it back. So the question we have to ask, the question I'll leave you with, is this: are we truly happy, or are we just distracted enough to forget that we're trapped? Because if we don't start noticing the bars, we'll never break out of the cage.